Part 1, the goal of reading. Audiobooks and physical books are the same story. What are the skills a student can gain from audiobooks and podcasts? A lot of people believe that letter recognition, phonics, and decoding are the basis of reading. While these are essentially parts of reading text, what is less obvious to an observer are the variety of thinking skills good readers use to employ as they read. Understanding the message the author wishes to communicate is the ultimate goal of reading. Audiobooks and podcasts can be an important tool to this end. I find the best reading instruction is finding the balance between text-based, like phonics, and comprehension strategies. Including audiobooks and podcasts in the classroom allow for comprehension learning opportunities such as visualization, fluency, monitoring, and making real-world connections. When a student misses an important detail in the story, they can easily rewind and go back to listen again. An assignment they can include is to draw or paint as they are listening to the story. Fluency. When you read with good expression, it makes more sense. With audiobooks, fluency and expression strategies can be modeled to students who are learning this skill. Especially in a home reading situation, while it does not replace reading instruction from a teacher, it is a great way to support students and parents at home. Monitoring. When there is a word, sound, or sentence that does not make sense, audiobooks easily allow for students to rewind and start the page, sentence, or chapter again. Finally, making connections by relating the text to their own experiences. There are many strategies and activities that can be paired up when using audiobooks and podcasts in the classroom, and these are only a few of the comprehension strategies that I have discussed. Part 2, personal experience. In the past, I have found it difficult to come up with engaging and creative literacy group activities. Recently, I have incorporated an activity for my students called Share Your Thoughts and Impress Your Classmates. Once a week, I will ask my students to brainstorm a topic that interests them, and as a class, we will listen to the podcast about that topic. During literacy groups, students then work in partners or small groups to plan and record a short podcast for their peers to listen to and provide feedback. They can talk about a book they've recently read, a video game, movie review, or an event happening inside or outside of the school. The topics they choose are pretty open-ended. When they get into their groups or partners, they have a planning and organization sheet to get them writing. We have been practicing how to plan with graphic organizers since the beginning of the year. Through this activity, students are able to practice using their voice, presentation skills, writing and presenting to a specific audience, planning, and collaborating together to learn from each other. In addition to this station, there is also a listening and feedback station. Students will listen to previous groups' podcasts and practice peer editing by providing groups with warm and cool feedback. Once the planning and editing pages are created and the expectations are clear and in place, it requires minimal teacher preparation. It's user-friendly and convenient because their work is already recorded and simple to assess. When I was reading the article about unboxing videos by Jackie Marsh, she talks about how children are creating and sharing online text with each other all the time. An example they provided is with the comment section of various social media platforms. I think having an opportunity to do this in the classroom is an excellent way to engage our students creatively while incorporating literacy. There are many perspectives of how we interpret language, be that through listening or reading. They essentially are the same thing. The only difference is that listening does not require decoding. Part 3, alternative reading formats. In the past, reading was associated with print and paper, but with advances in technology, 21st century literacies have made text so much more accessible to everyone regardless of their disability. For example, audiobooks are not just for sighted people. People who are visually impaired cannot physically interpret the words, but they can still understand a story. Most people with physical disabilities do not have the ability to hold a book or turn a page on their own due to issues with motor skills. And some people have visual perception challenges when it comes to tracking their reading. They don't need to use audiobooks every time, but it's a great strategy to allow them to work on comprehension. Using only print and paper excludes other reading and writing formats that should be considered and included. Part 4, Transportation and Destination. In a post by Daniel Willingham, he compares the process of reading and listening to transportation and destination. He goes on to say, imagine there are two people working in the same office. One drives every day and the other person takes the train. The person that drives isn't going to say, I drove here all by myself and you took the train, so that's cheating. Both took two different means to achieve the same goal. The goal with literacy is to communicate and make meaning. The author's message is to communicate their story, and the story is being received by the reader. As technology advances, the necessity of decoding, while still important, has a much smaller role.